Urgent! America's team fan. Look at what just happened. Nobody saw this coming, huh? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because we bring you daily videos with the latest your team news, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Cowboys make shocking defensive splash in round 1 of new NFL mock draft. In a new NFL mock draft, the Dallas Cowboys stray from conventional wisdom and make a defensive splash with the number 12 overall pick. The Dallas Cowboys will have plenty of options when the team is on the clock in the 2025 NFL Draft, but there are varying ideas of what direction the team should go. Many in Cowboys Nation are calling for the team to take a wide receiver like Tyrell McMillan of Arizona or Texas Longhorn star Matthew Golden, while others are okay with the team making a safe pick and bolstering the offensive line. Connor, or of Sports Illustrated, however, has a much different opinion. With just days until NFL teams welcome their 2025 rookie classes, or has the Cowboys focusing on the defensive side of the ball with the number 12 overall pick by giving new defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus another pass-rushing weapon in Marshall. Star Mike Green. The Cowboys need a lot, but imagine Green and Micah Parsons next to one another for just 1 second. Incoming DC Matt Eberflus thrives on a system that is largely blitz-averse, allowing his players at the line of scrimmage to stunt, twist, and game their way to success. Or writes, Green and Parsons could form a Bash Brothers coalition that can make a dent even against the powerful, but possibly a little stiff, Eagles offensive line. Green has been a favorite among the draftnik community throughout the draft process, and would undoubtedly add another threat off of the edge for a Cowboys team that could benefit from added depth. It wouldn't fill the biggest need on the roster, but could have the biggest impact. In his final season with the Thundering Herd, Green recorded 81 tackles, a whopping 17 sacks to lead the nation, 3 forced fumbles, and 2 passes defensed. The 2025 NFL Draft will be held in Green Bay, Wisconsin, with the first round on Thursday, April 24th. Rounds 2 and 3 will be held on Friday, April 25th, while the final rounds will be played out on Saturday, April 26th. Pausing this news just to say that if you want YouTube to keep recommending the latest America's team news to you, it's very important that you leave a like on this video. Thanks. Now let's get back to the news. Cowboys predicted to land. Superstar running back in blockbuster trade with Saints its NFL Draft Week, and the Dallas Cowboys are one of the most fascinating teams to follow. Currently holding the 12th pick of the first round, the Cowboys just need more offense. Beyond quarterback Dak Prescott and number-one wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, Dallas has few players it can look to for consistent yardage. After punting on the running back position in 2024 and losing starter Rico Dowdle in free agency, it would be easy to envision the Cowboys picking Boise State's Ashton Jeanty, the consensus top rusher in this year's draft class. But will the Cowboys be able to wait until their pick rolls around to take their shot at Jeanty? One NFL analyst doesn't believe so. On Monday, Athlon's Luke Easterling predicted that the Cowboys would trade up to the 9th pick with the New Orleans Saints to secure the rights to Jeanty, the runner-up in the voting for the 2024 Heisman Trophy. If Jeanty is still on the board at this point, it wouldn't be surprising for a team like Dallas to make a short move up the board to grab him, Easterling wrote. Sending a third-rounder to the Saints to jump ahead of Chicago, the Cowboys instantly transformed their lackluster ground game with a 3-down playmaker with superstar potential. Jeanty, 21, rushed for 2,601 yards for the Broncos this past season, only 28 yards shy of the all-time NCAA single-season record. He also totaled 29 rushing touchdowns, 30 total, and was the toughest player to bring down in all of college football. It's a gamble to give up a future pick of any kind for the rights to Jeanty, but if he turns into a top 5 rusher in the league, the Cowboys wouldn't regret it in the slightest. Rumor predicts Cowboys throw curveball at NFL Draft the Dallas Cowboys. Offensive needs are clear, with running back and receiver, the 2 positions that most think the franchise will target in the draft's early rounds. CeeDee Lamb needs help, and the run game needs a new sheriff to lead it, so of course those 2 positions are clear needs. But if you were banking on the franchise taking either position at number 12, you might want to hold off on placing that bet. Over the past couple of weeks, we have heard rumors and chatter regarding the Cowboys potentially taking an offensive lineman. With Zach Martin's retirement, a spot has opened up at right guard. If the Cowboys don't see Brock Hoffman or TJ Bass as the answer. Now comes one national writer who, based on what he's hearing around the league, doesn't be surprised if Dallas fortifies its offensive line. The name that a couple of people brought up to me here as a potential curveball is North Dakota State. O.L. Gray Zabel, he writes. Yes, this would be a little early for Zabel, but he's considered a pick that's safe like Duke C. Graham Barton was a year ago, and Barton had a very solid rookie year for the Buccaneers. Everyone seems to like Zabel, and I'd bet he won't make it out of the teens, so this isn't too much of a reach. A little early? In this scenario, we imagine a trade back from number 12 so the Cowboys can add some more draft capital, because selecting Zabel here could be considered a big reach. A left tackle at North Dakota State, Zabel has the position flexibility to play all 4 offensive line positions, which in itself is enough for the Cowboys' ears to prick up. A tough guy in the trenches, Zabel could be the type of personality that Brian Schottenheimer is looking for, and when we add his ability to be a good run blocker, the Cowboys feel like a nice fit at some point. Worth noting, we are hearing that the lean toward receivers at number 12 for Dallas is being balanced out inside the star with Olineman talk. We aren't sure if Zabel should be the pick at number 12, but if Zabel is there when Dallas picks, a conversation might need to be had, but only if the Cowboys are somehow intent on throwing curveballs. Predicting each pick for the Dallas Cowboys in the 2025 NFL Draft, who do you think the Cowboys will draft with each of their 10 picks? It's finally draft week. The first round of the 2025 NFL Draft kicks off Thursday, April 24th, and so far, barring a trade, the Dallas Cowboys hold the 12th overall pick on day 1 of the big event. What they ended up doing with that selection is anyone's guess as of right now, and the same goes with their other 9 selections in rounds 27. Today, we're going to attempt to predict which player they select with their 10 draft picks this year. We based our selections on prospects they have shown an interest in throughout the draft process as well as their current roster needs. Point 1, point 12, WR. Matthew Golden, Texas. Golden was a 30 pre-draft visitor for the Cowboys and someone who would immediately step in and upgrade the WR2 position behind CeeDee Lamb. With his route, running ability, inside-out versatility, and speed 429, he'd also give Dak Prescott another reliable target in the passing game. Point 2, 44, RB Quinshon Judkins, Ohio State. As a 30 pre-draft visitor, Judkins is someone the Cowboys have shown an interest in. At 5'1", 201 pounds. With 4.48 speed, the former Buckeyes RB is a hard-nosed, violent runner with good quickness and vision who could step in and challenge to be Dallas' new RB1 as a rookie. .376, DT Shamar Turner. Texas A&M Turner is another 30 pre-draft visitor for the Cowboys. He is a high-intensity, disruptive DT who played all across the DL at Texas A&M and can play the 1 or 3 technique in Matt Eberflus' scheme. If he can rein in control his emotions and become more disciplined, he has the talent to be a difference maker. 49, CB Zy Alexander. LSU the Cowboys had a formal meeting with Zy Alexander at the NFL Combine. He would provide much-needed depth at CB and has the talent to see the field early as a rookie. Despite having only average speed, he possesses good athleticism, ball skills, length, and is above average in run support. 5'174" OTG Caleb Rogers, Texas Tech. Caleb Rogers was another 30 pre-draft visitor for the Cowboys. He was primarily a right tackle during his time at Texas Tech, but his long-term future at the next level will probably be kicking inside to guard. With more technical refinement, he could develop into a starting caliber RG in the not-too-distant future. 6'204" LB Cody Simon. Ohio State, the Cowboys coaching staff was on hand at Ohio State's Pro Day, so they probably got a good look at Cody Simon. At 6'1", 232 pounds, the former Buckeyes LB has the size and sideline-to-sideline range Eberflus likes at the position. Head B. A depth LB and core special teams player early on in Dallas. .6211. Edge Jaw Joyner, Minnesota Joyner, is an intriguing developmental pass rusher who could provide much-needed depth at defensive end for the Cowboys. With 34 arms and at 6'4", 262 pounds, he possesses the prototypical physical attributes of a starting caliber DE in the NFL. He can be a situational pass rusher early on while he continues to fine-tune his craft. 7-2-17, CBS Jordan Hancock, Ohio State. Jordan Hancock is an intriguing, versatile defensive back who could provide much-needed depth to the Cowboys' secondary. He was primarily the nickel CB during his time at Ohio State, but also played free safety as well. That kind position flex could be invaluable for Dallas secondary 7, .239 DT Elijah Simmons. Tennessee Elijah Simmons was part of a heavy rotation along the DL during his time at Tennessee. Bites, he showed flashes of being a disruptive player, but lacked consistency. At 6'1", 334 pounds, he has natural girth to become a stout run defender with upside as a pass rusher if he can continue to develop his skill set. 7-247 WR Isaiah Nayor. Nebraska at 6'4", 218 pounds, and with 440 speed, Isaiah Nayor is an intriguing developmental WR prospect who was a Dallas Day participant for the Cowboys. Daichi's arguably the most physically gifted WR in the draft class, and his physical attributes are worth the Cowboys gambling on at this point in the draft. Inside How One Cowboys trade could add Cortland and Omarion. The Cowboys are staring down a wide receiver dilemma they cannot afford to ignore, and a homegrown product from Brenham, Texas could be the solution. Cortland Sutton, still just 29 years old and entering the final year of his deal, has been on the Broncos trade block for at least a year or two. There was even a bit of a standoff between him and the Broncos last offseason. Sutton was seeking a pay raise and skipped some of the team's voluntary workouts as a means of protest. Ultimately, he showed up and once again showed out, logging his second consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons, even amid some question marks at the quarterback position. Now, with Denver pivoting to a full youth movement around quarterback Bo Nix, it feels like the end is finally near. For Dallas, that's an opportunity they can't pass up. And COO Stephen Jones is already on record a couple different times this offseason referencing trades. We're fishing and looking and always looking for an efficient move that makes sense from a draft pick standpoint, and from a salary cap standpoint that makes good sense. The Cowboys are desperate for a true WR2 to complement CeeDee Lamb, and the SMU product Sutton, standing at 6'4" with a physical presence and red zone ability, is tailor-made for that role. Has not a developmental flyer, has not a gamble, has a plug-and-play Pippin to CD's Jordan. The ideal blueprint? A trade back from pick 12 to 20 in exchange for Sutton. The Broncos currently hold pick 20. That drop would still allow Dallas to go after Omarion Hampton while calming the fan base nerves over the how high is too high for a running back concern. It also opens the door to double dip at wideout with names like Luther Burden III, Matthew Golden, or Emeka Egbuka if things fall accordingly. Of course, trading for Sutton presently at $20 million APY means negotiating a new contract, and the front office is already knee-deep in Micah Parsons' extension talks. But if Sutton truly wants to come home and is willing to work with the Cowboys financially, it could be a fine match. Dallas can't go into the draft picking out of desperation. They've done that before, and ended up with guys like Taco Charlton, Maisie Smith, Tyler Guyton, and Tristan Hill. If the Cowboys are serious about contending, they can't afford another draft day swing and miss. Trading back for Sutton not only fills a glaring hole with a proven local talent, it resets the board, unlocks flexibility, and sends a message to the locker room: we're done waiting. We're going for it. And now, America's team. Fan, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but your opinion matters a lot for America's team. He'll be back any moment with more America's team news. How about them Cowboys?